Hello Cancer, Jessica here with Cardinal Signs. I hope that you're doing well and that you've had a really good month of September so far. So for this reading, we're going to start off with general messages, a forecast for the next 2 weeks and bringing us to the end of September. We'll use the Osho Zen Tarot here. Following that, we'll take a look in the crystal and just add on any additional messages from that, and then I'll pull a few cards for love and romance at the end. So let's get into it. So this is for Cancer for the second half of September. General energies and messages for Cancer. That's your overall energy. We've got the Rebel, so that's the Emperor card. For Cancer, general messages and energies. So the Rebel is, the Emperor is a highly independent, very powerful energy. This card is indicating that you're kind of on this streak. There's a lot of power that you're carrying with you. And it's almost like you are leading others forward and kind of illuminating the way forward. Okay. Just definitely a sense of feeling very free with this card. And possibly breaking through some barriers, perhaps even a little bit of rule breaking, but in such a way that you know that you're going to be able to get away with it. Perhaps, just kind of testing your boundaries or the boundaries that others have set out for you, and to prove that, you can kind of live life outside of the box. So it's a very interesting, very dynamic energy, very charismatic as well. People are definitely going to be taking note of you and being very interested in what it is that you're doing in these next 2 weeks. Now we have Breakthrough, which is Justice, and we have the Devil. So 2 very powerful cards coming in here. I'm just going to shift these over so you can see a little better. And this goes really nicely with the Rebel, because if we look here, we can see that you're breaking through these chains and something that's been holding you back perhaps, or making you feel like you've been trapped. And we have this being confirmed and emphasized by this Breakthrough card here. We can see that we're really powering through any obstacles that are in front of you with an enormous amount of conviction and strength, and a great deal of success as well. It's possible that this is something that you have felt has been suppressing you or restricting you for a while. We have the Devil card beside that, which in this deck comes in as conditioning. And you can see here again this theme where this lion's feet are bound and it's tied to something that makes it feel unhappy. And it's kind of like almost this lion has been labeled in a negative way and is no longer satisfied with how others perceive him or her, or with the circumstances in which they find themselves. And so it's like you've finally got this drive and this momentum to free yourself, to let those bonds fall away, or forcibly make them come away from you, and just push through into a place where you have a lot more liberty and freedom and fresh air. We have this beautiful bird here, really symbolizing freedom here. And with that light, you are moving forward with a great amount of vision and conviction. Now, moving over here, we have the King of Pentacles, which is abundance. And we have it paired with the Knight of Swords, which in this card is the mind. Now, this is a very easygoing card, this King of Pentacles. Things flow into life very freely, very easily. As the card indicates, a lot of abundance, particularly material abundance, but this can also be opportunities, really wonderful opportunities flowing into your life, or circumstances that you have been hoping for to kind of change the tides and improve your outlook on life. The catch here with mind paired with the abundance card is there may be an overwhelming amount of abundance, almost to the point where it's too much perhaps, or maybe you just have too many options and they're all quite good and you're not sure which one to go with. So I don't see this as being a very negative card for you for these next 2 weeks. On its own, it can look a little bit daunting. But in the context in which we're reading this, it's more like you've broken through into this wonderful freedom where you have so many opportunities available to you, and it's simply perhaps a little overwhelming, and it's going to take you a little bit of time to gather your bearings and kind of feel comfortable with where it is that you find yourself now. So overall, looks like it's going to be a really, really wonderful next couple of weeks for you, Cancer. Definitely a lot of personal power coming through. So really wonderful. Both the Emperor and this King of Pentacles definitely speak about financial gain and prosperity. So it looks like finances are going to be really, really well for you. So I'm just going to put these cards aside for now, and I'm going to take a look here into the crystal and see if anything else wants to come up for you. So these are messages for Cancer for the second half of September. I'm seeing you burying something, like literally I'm seeing like a shovel and digging. Oftentimes messages are more figurative in nature, so maybe some of you are hiding something away for safekeeping, but I think most of you are more so putting something in the past very firmly. It's like you're literally almost performing some kind of I don't want to say a ceremony, but like you're doing it in such a way that you're drawing this line, and it's like that part of my life is over, almost like it's dead. I'm letting that go very deliberately. I'm no longer in that place, and I'm moving forward away from that, almost in a way that like you're forgetting it, you know, maybe even a sense of disowning something. See if anything else comes up here. The way that it's being shown to me, it's like you want to forget this thing and let it go completely, but it might hold on to you a little bit. There might be some kind of lingering memories or markings of it upon your life. For the most part, you're able to let go of it successfully because I see that you want to really put it behind you. You know, they're showing me basically it looks kind of like a grave, and there's grass growing over it. And that process does start where it's showing me that healing is occurring. And the grass is coming over, covering the area where you have put something that you no longer want. And keep in mind that this is figurative. I don't think too many of you are actually burying anything, but it's almost like some kind of mark will always be there in your life to remind you of where it is that you've come from, or the challenges that you've gone through. You know, this can be some kind of emotional scarring, or just the memories that kind of linger even though you want to let them go. So just be aware of that. And I think I'll leave that at that. Now we're going to take a look at your love messages. Love and romance for Cancer. Messages of love and romance for Cancer for the second half of September. What does Cancer need to know regarding love and romance? Okay, I'm being guided to do just these two piles here. So if you've seen any of my other readings for romance, I tend to like to look at where you're at and where your partner is at. And going into it, I was just going to look at where you were, but I'm being guided to separate that pile there. Okay, so this is for you, Cancer. The overall energy is the Ten of Swords. Now this is indicating that there is a time of trial, and this may be something that you have already gone through and something that you are currently recovering from. There's some kind of pain or disappointment that has occurred within the love life. This could be betrayal. This can be a wide spectrum of hurt. You know, it could be a small argument up to, you know, betrayal through cheating. So it's going to be different for everybody, but it's indicating that you are going through a healing process and you are working towards leaving that energy behind you and moving forward into something that's better for you. Now we have the Four of Pentacles and we have the Hermit beneath you. So the Four of Pentacles, there is a lot of healing going on within this card. This is definitely focused on, I think, on the heart chakra. There's a lot of green. We can see how this dragon is really protective around the center of his body there, around the heart, and is really kind of hunching the shoulders around and protecting himself. So that may be kind of how you are feeling in these next 2 weeks. Really protective of yourself, and taking care of the matters of your heart so that you can heal and feel better. For others of you, you may find that you are having a hard time letting this go. Particularly if this has been something that has offended you deeply. It's left its mark and you're having a hard time moving forward from it. So be aware that in order to heal fully, you need to really allow that process to take place, which will include a lot of time alone, doing your own self-healing and taking that time that you need. Now we have the Hermit card, which is a fairly lonely card when it comes to love and romance. It's definitely about searching and seeking. So maybe you're searching for answers as to why this is happening, why there's this trouble and disruption within your love life. And maybe this is, as the Hermit, you taking that time away from, perhaps from your partner, or taking time away from dating to do that healing that you need and kind of get to that place where you feel back to normal and ready to get out into the world again. Now, for those of you who have a certain someone in mind, this will be their energy. Overall, we have the Three of Cups. We have the Nine of Wands. And we have the Eight of Pentacles. So, because we have the Three of Cups here and you have the Ten of Swords, for some of you, this pain is because your partner or potential is interested in somebody else. This can indicate love triangle energy, which is certainly a painful thing to go through if you find out about that kind of thing going on. This card can be very, very positive. It's about being very social, really getting out there, doing a lot of dating, but because it's coming in as your partner's energy and the way that you're looking, I don't know, it feels like almost like this would rub you the wrong way. Maybe your partner's being a little bit frivolous or spending a lot of time out and not necessarily out with you, but out with friends or other people. And perhaps you're feeling very lonely and left out as a result of this. Now, we have the Nine of Wands, so your partner is not completely clueless about what's going on here. The Nine of Wands is facing towards you. The Nine of Wands is a very aware card. They know that something is wrong. Maybe they can't quite figure out what's not working, what's not right, but they do know that something is wrong. So their radar is up. So maybe there's a communication breakdown where things aren't being communicated clearly between the two of you. So if you're feeling left out and you're not seeing a lot of your partner and your partner's doing a lot of socializing without you, and you would rather that the two of you did that together and be included in that, then maybe it's as simple as, you know, saying, hey, maybe I could join you next time you go out and play volleyball with your friends, or whatever it might be. Now they have the Eight of Pentacles, perhaps indicating that there's just a lot of time being spent at work, really, really focused on work, the Nine of Wands and the Eight of Pentacles. So this is a lot of hard work and effort being put in, perhaps having to do a lot of business meetings, that kind of thing, or even traveling for business. And maybe that's why you're feeling very lonely and left out and hurt. Perhaps even abandoned feelings coming up here for you, Cancer. So these are energies that you're going to perhaps have to work through this month. But it's definitely always easier if we can kind of see from the perspective of our significant other to make it a little easier to open up communication. So I think I will conclude our reading there. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you found these messages helpful. If you would like a private reading with me, you can find my email in the description box below. So I will see you again at the beginning of October, and take care until then.